Wow, that you can see my ring light. Hello everyone, my name is Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a big book unhaul, some spring cleaning if you will. I unhaul books fairly regularly, or at least I take them off my shelves and put them in a box to eventually take to Goodwill. Whether or not that box makes it to Goodwill in a timely fashion, who can say? But I frequently, kind of call my shelves, take books off that I'm not interested in anymore. I just don't usually film it because I don't know if unhauls are like that interesting. Honestly, they're not something that I typically like watch frequently because, I mean, you're just showing the books you're getting rid of. But on Twitter, people seem to love them, so I decided that I would just do an unhaul today because why not? I've got a bunch of books that I'm getting rid of and I might as well just show them all to you. I have a bunch of books that I'm getting rid of, about 50 books that I'm actually going to be taking to Goodwill, hopefully today. I'm hopefully going to do it today. I'm only going to show you like a handful of them, the ones that I think are maybe the most interesting that I'm getting rid of. A lot of them, ones that I'm getting rid of, are books that are classics or books that I've had on my shelves forever that I'm not going to read. Some books that I indicated unhauling a lot sooner than now, so I'm just not even going to bother showing you those. But like I have about 20, 25 books here that I'm going to show you that I'm going to get rid of. This is kind of split up into two categories. The first is going to be books that I've read before that either I really hated, know I'm never going to reread, or just don't want on my shelves anymore. And then the other category is books that I've had forever that I just don't see myself reading, or books that I've heard are not that great from people that I trust their opinion of them. So yeah, that's kind of the two categories here. So I'm going to start with the books that I have read before that I'm not going to be keeping, don't care to reread, etc. Most of these are YA, but I do have one adult book, and that is Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo. It really pains me to unhaul this book because I spent a lot of money on it. I bought it like brand new. I pre-ordered it and got it the day it came out. I read this last year. I think I have a book review on it actually, and I just didn't love it. It really didn't meet the expectations that I was hoping it would, so I don't really think I'll ever reread it. If I do, I can probably just find it from the library or whatever, but this is just not a book I want on my shelf anymore. And that's going to be the case for most of these. I'm going to try not to talk about all of them because you don't want to hear me say the same thing 50 times. I Have Lost My Way by Gail Forman. Again, a book I read last year and just thought was alright. So yeah. With Malice by Eileen Cook is a book I read a couple years ago and I liked it, but it's a mystery, and now that I know how it ends, I don't think I'll ever reread it or see the need to keep it. I also have my entire Huntley Fitzpatrick collection. I have The Boy Most Likely To, My Life Next Door, and What I Thought Was True. I love the way that Huntley Fitzpatrick writes books, but I didn't totally love her newest book that is still, at this point like 3 or 4 years old, and she hasn't written anything new, and I don't see myself rereading these ever. If I want to reread them, I can probably get them from the library. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these as well. The thing about unhauling for me is that these books can go to a home that will better love them, that will probably enjoy them a lot more than I did. So that's why I'm unhauling these ones. Lastly, for the books that I've already read that I just have no interest in rereading, maybe a little controversial one is the entirety of the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy by Jenny Han. Obviously, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, P.S. I Still Love You, and Always and Forever Laura Jean. I think the series is fine. I read the last book earlier this year, and just was really underwhelmed. I don't love the characters, I don't love the story. This is a series that I just don't see myself ever revisiting, and so I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to somebody who will love it more than I. And now for some books that I have had forever, don't think I'm ever going to read, just don't want them on my shelves anymore. Have some book of the month picks here first. Missing Presumed by Susie Steiner. This is the first in a detective thriller series, and I've never heard anybody talk about it, and at this point I just don't think it's something that I'm interested in anymore, so I'm going to pass this on to somebody who, again, will like it more than I. I have a bunch of books that I'm unhauling that I talked about in my Trash My TBR. The first of those is Springtime by Zadie Smith, also a book of the month pick. Just nobody really gave it any positive reviews on my Trash My TBR video, and I just don't see myself ever really wanting to read it, so I'm gonna pass it on. Some other books that showed up in that Trash My TBR video, Tiny Pretty Things. This is a YA contemporary hard-hitting ballerina story that I'm just not super interested in anymore, and that's that. Also, The Legacy of Kings by Eleanor Herman. This is the first in a YA fantasy series that I've heard is incredibly underwhelming, and so I'm just not interested in investing time into it if I'm not going to end up enjoying it. If I do ever like get the urge to read this series, I'll probably find it at the library. And also Vanishing Girls by Lauren Oliver. This is a book that I just have seen increasingly negative reviews for, and I'm not interested. I'm just not interested anymore. So that's that. And some other YA contemporary that I have here, 17 and Gone by Nova Rensuma. Nova Rensuma is an author that I have wanted to check out for a while because she is an author that gets a lot of praise, but I feel is a little bit underrated. I just don't think this book is going to be it for me. It's like a murder mystery missing teenager story, I think similar to Vanishing Girls actually, and I think there's like a paranormal element to it, and that's just not really my thing, so getting rid of that. 100 Sideways Miles by Andrew Smith. I've tried to read this book so many times and just cannot get through it, so I'm gonna finally just unhaul it, say we're good, and not pick it up again. Andrew Smith is an author that I used to really love, but recently just kind of changed my opinions on. Not him as a person, like he's fine, just his books in general, his writing style, his characters, just not a huge fan of that. So gonna finally unhaul this. I also have The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith, an author that I've read before. I think she's alright. At one point I owned like 3 of her books and have only read 1 and just didn't care for it. So I'm gonna just get rid of this. And also On the Fence by Casey West. Casey West is an author that everybody seems to love, but in like a fluffy throwaway kind of way, and I'm just not really interested in that. So I'm getting rid of this one as well. And finally, the last book in my unhaul, one of the oldest books, if not the oldest book on my TBR, honestly, is Forbidden by Tabitha Suzuma. This is a book that I wanted to read forever, and I got it off of Book Outlet like back in 2014, 2013 when I first started my channel, and then have never felt compelled to pick up. I mean, this was at the top of my to-read list for so long, and then when I finally owned a copy, I lost all interest and have heard some really mixed, leaning towards negative reviews of it since then, so I'm just not really interested in investing my time in it anymore. It's kind of taboo. I think the whole point of the story is a brother and sister that fall in love with each other, which is weird. I'm just not interested anymore. So I'm gonna unhaul this one. Maybe it'll go to a home that will like it a lot. So those are all the books that I'm going to show you in my big spring unhaul. Like I said, I have like 25 more books in a box over here, but I'm not going to show them all to you because that video would be long and boring, and it would just be me saying the same thing over and over more than I did already. Let me know down in the comments if you have read any of the books I mentioned in this video. Let me know if you think I'm making a big mistake by getting rid of them. I'd be really interested to know. By the time this video goes up, these books will hopefully already be out of my house, like donated to Goodwill or whatever. We'll see if I actually can manage to do that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again very soon. Bye.